and welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I'm your host, Leyla Cindy. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. This week, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, chaired a meeting dedicated to the results of the first quarter of 2022. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, attended the opening of a new administrative building of the Institute of Theology under the State Committee for Work with Religious Organizations. This week, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, chaired a meeting dedicated to the results of the first quarter of 2022. Speaking at the conference, the head of our state said that our contacts with the European Union intensified after the war. The European Union accepted realities of the post-war period. At the initiative of President of the EU, Charles Michel, trilateral meetings were held in December and April. The information on meetings was provided. Of course, both the experts and the Azerbaijani public saw that there is no mention of Nagorno-Karabakh in the final statement, because it's natural, because Azerbaijan was against it. There also was no mention of the word conflict. This is also natural, because there is no conflict. The conflict was resolved, stressed the head of state. President Ilham Aliyev informed that we resolved this conflict on our own. The Minsk Group prior to the Second Karabakh War had been operating for 28 years, and during these years, co-chairs countries had visited both Azerbaijan and Armenia hundreds of times. The result is apparent. It's zero. Nonetheless, we will restore everything on our own. I said that we will construct both Karabakh and Zengezur as exemplary regions. Azerbaijani citizens will live there comfortably and prosperously. This will set an example for the world. However, I'm addressing international organizations. Those involved in human rights, guided by the principles of justice, should at least pay attention to Azerbaijan and go beyond double standards, the head of state said. President Ilham Aliyev noted that as a result of our victory in the Second Karabakh War, there is great interest in Azerbaijan. There are many requests to work and establish business relations. Today, Azerbaijan is one of the few countries in the world that has been able to attract so much interest. The results of the post-conflict period, the results of the first year, give grounds to say that all the tasks before us have been fulfilled. First and foremost, we continued our contacts with international organizations, continued active cooperation, and leading international organizations of the world accepted the new realities. The head of state stressed that in the first 3 months of this year, our country was successfully developing in all areas. We must assess the results of the 3 months as a continuation of last year's success. Our economic indicators are also very positive. In the first quarter, GDP grew by 6.8%. In the non-oil sector, this is measured by even higher figures. Our non-oil economy has grown by more than 10%. Our foreign trade turnover has increased and our foreign debt has decreased. If we compare with April last year, we see that in April last year, our foreign debt was 18% of GDP. Now it is only 12.5%. In other words, we were able to reduce the external debt by more than $600 million in 1 year. The balance of foreign trade is also very positive. The positive balance, more than $5 billion in just 3 months. This is a very high figure. Experts also know that in majority countries of the world, the balance is negative. Countries import more than they export. In just 3 months, Azerbaijan earns $5.1 billion. Our exports exceed imports, said President Ilham Aliyev. On April 14th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama, who was on an official visit to Azerbaijan, held a one-on-one meeting.
Prime Minister, welcome to Azerbaijan. Very glad to see you. Very good opportunity to see each other and to discuss important issues on our agenda. Your visit once again demonstrates the high level of political dialogue between our countries. We met many times and also communicated by telephone, and also during the international events always use the opportunity to see each other. I'm sure the visit will give a new impetus to our bilateral ties. Also, we'll discuss issues of regional development, issues which now on top agenda of the world. And coming to bilateral relations, I was looking at some information. Of course, we need to work harder on increasing our trade turnover. It's very modest, but I think there is a potential to increase. We'll discuss it today, and also, of course, our cooperation in the energy sector. Because already for more than 1 year, Azerbaijan became an exporter of natural gas to Europe, and Albania always was supporting this initiative. And your high-level representatives always participated at the meetings of the South Gas Corridor Advisory Council and contributed a lot to implementation of this project. So we are in one team of countries which implemented successfully this historical project, and the importance of Southern Gas Corridor and Trans-Adriatic Pipeline in particular, I think now is more visible than ever before. So this is a very good sector of our cooperation, which has a big potential to grow. Our representatives, they are having meetings on the bigger portfolio of our energy cooperation, consisting of natural gas, transit, supplies, also electric energy. It really could be a big part of our bilateral agenda, and I'm sure that what is now in the process of negotiations will result in new developments. And also, I think there is a good chance to talk about opportunities for mutual investments. Of course, tourism opportunities, because I think we can provide our citizens different types of touristic opportunities. And in general, look broader at our partnership to give a push and to see good results in the future. So I'm very glad to see you, and once again, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a real pleasure to be here. And first and foremost, after a very needed and successful campaign you made to bring back a part of your country that was for so many years in a situation that became unbearable. And as you know, both in the capacity of chairman of OSCE and now in the capacity of a member of the Security Council, Albania has been, it is and will be fully supportive of Azerbaijan, of the truth and the historical rights of Azerbaijan, and also, last but not least, we very much praise your incredibly exemplary efforts for peace and for long-standing cooperation with your neighbor Armenia. At the same time, we are both blessed to have a very strong bridge among us, Turkey, and I strongly believe that we can do more. You mentioned the areas of potential increase of our cooperation, and for sure I'm very much looking forward to hear you and the prospects, and also to see what our mutual teams will come out with, both in the energy sector and in tourism. I very much hope that you will come to Albania now that COVID has somehow smoothened. Thank you, Mr. President, again for this very warm hospitality we felt since the first step after we landed in this beautiful capital city of yours.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, then had a working dinner with Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, has received Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development of Georgia, Levant Davitashvili. Noting that the Azerbaijan-Georgia relations have a broad agenda, the head of state hailed the successful implementation of agreements reached in both bilateral and multilateral formats and stressed the importance of joint transport and energy projects implemented by the two countries in this regard. President Ilham Aliyev stressed the need to increase the volume of cargo transportation and the capacity of the existing infrastructure between Azerbaijan and Georgia, adding that a good basis had been created for this. Praising the growth in trade turnover, the head of state also underlining the importance of defining prospects for further increase in its volume. Pointing out the close ties between the two countries, Georgian Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development, Livan Davitashvili, hailed the successful development of relations in all areas, including in the economic sphere, and underlined the regional and global importance of energy and transport projects. He also noted the great potential for increasing trade turnover. The site stressed the importance of the implementation of joint projects in agriculture and other sectors of economy, as well as the crucial role of Azerbaijani-Georgian economic cooperation in the economic development of the two countries. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received the Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology of the United Arab Emirates, Managing Director and Group CEO of Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, UAE Special Envoy for Climate Change, CEO of Masdar Company, Sultan bin Ahmed Al Jaber. The head of state hailed the successful development of relations between the two countries in political, economic, investment and other areas. President Ilham Aliyev recalled a recent phone conversation with Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, saying during the talk they underlined the necessity to increase joint efforts for further expansion of bilateral cooperation. Recalling the groundbreaking ceremony for the 230-megawatt Qabarıq solar power plant to be built in Azerbaijan by the UAE must start this March, the head of state expressed hopes that the project would be launched by the end of next year. President Ilham Aliyev described the implementation of this project as a good example of ensuring mutual interests and opportunities. The head of state noted that given the high level of political relations between the two countries, the implementation of a future joint economic agenda, including the establishment of joint ventures, defining the investment opportunities and involvement in various other projects, can serve to maximize the existing potential. President Ilham Aliyev expressed hope that Sultan Ahmad Al Jaber's visit to Azerbaijan would be successful and fruitful. Expressing gratitude for the kind words, Sultan bin Ahmad Al Jaber extended greetings and best wishes of Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, Emir of Dubai, Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Deputy Supreme Commander of Armed Forces of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, to President Ilham Aliyev. President Ilham Aliyev thanked for the greetings and best wishes of Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and asked the minister to extend his greetings to Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. The minister noted that Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan highly appreciates the development of relations between the two countries, attaches particular importance to these relations, and is determined to further strengthen the partnership. On April 11th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, attended the opening of a new administrative building of the Institute of Theology under the State Committee for Work with Religious Organizations. Starting from its origins, Islam promoted science. The Prophet assured his Ummah that all darkness would be dispelled through science. The main characteristic distinguishing Azerbaijan and its people at all times is preservation of religious and spiritual values. Today, promotion of religion of this heritage turned into the state policy in the history of our independence. Surely, it's not accidental, because through centuries, tolerance and multiculturalism became an important and integral value of the public and political lives of our people. Today, these values are the national treasure of our independence. centuries-old system of moral values acquired more strength and efficiency due to the state's support. In the world where discrimination against Islam is widespread, Azerbaijan managed to surprise with its unity prayers. The state, taking the initiative to promote multiculturalism and tolerance, turned Baku into a space for holding international conferences on this topic, because Azerbaijan is a multinational, multi-confessional country, and this is our greatest treasure. President Ilham Aliyev said, "Representatives of all nations, religions in Azerbaijan live in conditions of benevolence, peace and tranquility. We live as one family, and our power is our unity." By a decree signed by President Ilham Aliyev in 2018, the Azerbaijan Institute of Theology was established, functioning under the State Committee for Work with Religious Organizations. The new 5-story building of the institute has all the conditions for education at the highest level: educational rooms, a library, assembly halls, prayer rooms for men and women have been created. Along with the theological faculty, there are departments of religious studies, Islamic studies, languages and social sciences. The institute prepares highly qualified personnel for following degrees: bachelor's, master's, and doctoral studies. At the undergraduate level, the following specialties are taught: religious studies and Islamic studies. At the master's level, sociology of religion, psychology of religion, history of religion, and Islamic studies. At the doctoral level, religious studies, history, and philosophy of religion. Education at all 3 levels is carried out under the state order. At present, 277 students study in the Institute of Theology. Teaching staff consists of 43 people. The teaching staff of the institute also conducts scientific research in the field of religious and Islamic studies. After the Patriotic War, new areas of research were identified. The Foundation for the Promotion of Spiritual Values, established by the decree of President Ilham Aliyev in 2017 and operating under the State Committee for Work with Religious Organizations, is also located here. The main activity of the foundation is to provide state support in educational work in the field of religion, the protection and promotion of moral values among young people, the preparation and implementation of targeted programs in the field of state-religion relations, and the implementation of social projects in this direction. That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and see you next Sunday.